We are currently inside the area where we enter where that shrine for James D. Evans Jr. is. Off the railroad tracks, we've entered this little area right before Darkwood, a little before the snowmobile trail, and we're just commenting on how quiet it is. We're quite, I wouldn't say scared, but unnerved about going to Darkwood today because something just seems off, even for this place. So we'll tread with caution. We just exited this path and we are now on the snowmobile trail. We've been stopping quite frequently because although this doesn't look very heavy, the supplies we brought with us are slowing us down quite immensely. So once we go to Darkwood, we'll be able to take our first break, like true break. This just stopping and taking in the scenery isn't exactly a break because we're still standing, and it's well, enough talking about our weaknesses. We are necromecker, or the necromancer in general. The ground is rather damp. This device is, not device, but luggage is particularly hard to carry in one hand, but I must in order to film because I do not want to miss anything going to Darkwood today. So I just am getting a very strange sensation. I tried to meet up with others but could not locate them, so at the moment we are just taking it day by day as just coincidences and whatnot, but I don't remember this tree ever being here at all. Yes, I do not recall that. Either way, here we are, the opening, and apparently, well, right now we are about perhaps a mile or half a mile from the road and the highway, and there's a certain location there which you're able to see Darkwood from the road, which, I mean, if you're not looking for it, you'll have no idea what it is, but once you actually venture here, then you'll know of its mystical qualities. And again, it is so quiet. Except a few birds, but perhaps the birds are used to us by now, whereas the other creatures and beings are not. You plan to go exploring today.
Dude, is it just me? It looks a lot lighter in here.
It does. It does look a lot lighter in Darkwood.
I think we go in right here.
There's a lot more trees down than I recall. There's almost enough to make another teepee here. Yes, it is without a doubt lighter than it always has been. I don't know if we should still call this place Darkwood. Perhaps we're being placed under a spell that truly it is dark, but it just appears lighter and we're being led into a trap. This is just flat out unexplainable. None of this looks even remotely familiar.
No. I think it's down more.
We have no idea how to get to where we need to get to.
Oh, here we are. We gotta go this way. Yep, there's shit out there. see the fairy wings hanging in that theater?
Oh yeah. We located it after all. But still, Darkwood looks particularly light. Can't even begin to imagine why. As I was commenting, there are a lot of branches and even trees down. My goodness, what happened? None of the rest of the forests we passed through today have been like this. There weren't any tornadoes or heavy storms. What in the world could have done this?
Dude, why does fire pit look so different?
Everything looks so different. Where's our laugh symbol? Okay.
Dude. Saying we're still at my house.
Darkwood has never been so light.
Oh my god. Ants and shit. From that ketchup.
There are ants in our fire pit. Well, this is turning out to be quite the surprise. Anyway, Darkwood's been ravaged. It's now light. There's ants everywhere. There's birds, gnats. I wonder what other creatures.
Dude, it's like mossy and like glowing in here.
Yes. I felt that way also, but didn't feel like commenting. There are certain spots where you can see the moss and it appears as if Darkwood is illuminated. Especially the treetops. Because it's no longer dark, we can actually see Darkwood. So this area is, I can tell something pretty bad happened here recently. And I get the feeling later today we will discover the cause. Alright, we are leaving Darkwood prematurely after being unsuccessful in an attempt to create a fire. That's probably a bad sign right there already, perhaps an omen that we should leave, but we are not going to. We are going back to that area that we saw that deer carcass at months ago, in the hopes that something else will appear there. And by smacking that tree, things are falling on my head. Continued to run into spider webs. There were ants at our fire pit, gnats everywhere, flies, and a plethora of birds. So the creature population is somewhat increased since previous encounters, and Lucas believes he saw and heard something far off in the distance. He described it as big, but other than that, I received no explanation as to what it was.